Hey, what's going on, guys? IC Trades here, and today we're going to be doing a technical analysis breakdown on ticker symbol AMC. And getting right into it, guys, you see an obvious downtrend on the daily chart, and you see price turn up and then pull back. The question is, are we going to bounce here and continue our way up, or are we going to pull back all the way back down to these lows? So before we dive deep on the daily chart, we're going to go to the weekly chart to get a broader perspective. So, guys, on the weekly chart, we see an obvious double bottom after price gets crushed down, hitting this level around $2.30. And then once again hitting that same range and bouncing off on the weekly time frame. And you can see that after hitting that bottom, we see a parabolic move all the way to that $11 level, which is about a 300% move here, guys, and around a 380 to 400% move. Very massive move you guys see there. And AMC in general, as well as all these low cap stocks, are very prone to these giant moves, guys, these giant breakouts, seemingly out of nowhere. So we see that there after touching that bottom, and we have very strong resistance at that $11 level. And after getting crushed down by that huge move, guys, we kind of consolidate within this descending resistance here, starting around that $6 spot at this candle. You can see one touch point, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wicking off. Finally flushing under these support zones, getting under that $4 level at 360 level, all the way down to that low of 260, seeing a double bounce right here, consolidate, come back down, bounce again. As we see in the most recent weeks, guys, we are trying to build a base and work our way back up. And on that second most recent week, you see a little bit of selling pressure, but we are in this general range between $3.20 and $3.60, where we're trying to squeeze out, as AMC typically likes to do. So, guys, we are in a range here on the weekly chart after getting destroyed. I mean, on the monthly, guys, this gives a better perspective. The stock was booming at one time, all the way to that $390 level, and you just see a drastic sell-off. Stock just getting completely crushed, guys. And you can just see the volatility it had, the speed and momentum that it had, just getting crushed all the way down to these very low levels. So this stock is extremely beat up, guys. Keep that in mind when trading AMC. You gotta be wary, but at the same time, there's a lot of room for the buyers to run here if the bulls gain control. On the daily chart here, you see how volatile AMC is, right? These huge moves up, huge moves down, giant downtrend that we are currently in. And you see at that $4 level, guys, we formed this cup and handle type of pattern, right? The start of that level being the start of the cup, kind of being a little deformed, come down, right? Right back to that neckline of $4, forming that cup. And we see the handle as the most recent daily candles, guys, and beautiful bullish candle getting to that $4 level. And we see a huge rejection with this very bearish red candle. And then we get in this tighter zone with the candles kind of descending in this pennant, aided by this ascending support. As you can see here, touches a few times. 1, 2, gets up. 3, 4, 5. We are right against that ascending support as we are in this narrow range as well, guys. So hit that bottom of $3.20. Work our way back up on this ascending support. We are looking for a squeeze out. There is a bit of selling pressure on that most recent candle. Kind of this inverse red hammer candle, which is a bearish sign, but at the same time, we are in this general range, and we could see a retest of that support and a further move up to that $3.60 level limit, as well as that $4 level. If we can get the bounce here, guys, and regain some buyer control. AMC is a very volatile stock when volume is in play, right? You see this huge move, you see volume start to ramp up here, and explosive move aided by this explosive volume. So if you want to see this squeeze out, you want volume to start to fill in. Volume's kind of trending on an average level as AMC has been as of recent times. Volume has always been there, guys, when these moves have happened. You can see in the past here, a little bit of an uptrend and an explosive move followed by volume. Volume's ramping up as this uptrend is going. And then you see price go all the way up to that $5.50 limit with volume following it very well. And after that move, it creates this descending resistance type of zone that is in, following under it. And then you see it peak out of it, changing the shift of the stock. As we go back on an uptrend, reach that top of the cup, we want to see price either squeeze out, regain control of the support level of $3.60, or you can see something where stock kind of hits that $3.20 level and possibly flushes all the way back down to that $2.60 support, where we have seen very strong support, guys. Given these very strong hammer candles, sellers try to push it down, buyers buy it up right away, get back above this range, and you can see, guys, very, very strong support with the amount of times that we touched that and broke out and shifted the momentum of the stock. Keep an eye on that support level, guys, as if we were to flush this overall zone and that $3.20 level, that's where we would most likely be headed, as there isn't a lot of strong support outside of that range. You could see something around this level here, right, where stock kind of played around with this resistance around that $2.90 level to that $3 psychological level. You could see some support there, but overall, guys, if we flush this zone, we possibly are headed to that $2.60 level. Pretty neutral on this time period. I mean, we still are in this pennant range. I'm not loving the most recent candle, getting a little bit of a closer look. See an obvious selling pressure. It looks like we're pretty neutral, and then you see these last two candles, good bit of selling pressure, especially on that last one with that inverted hammer candle. So I think the most likely case scenario is we break this pennant, get back down to that support around $3.20, and then try to work our way back up if we can hold strong at that support zone. With how volatile AMC is, guys, there is a lot of room to the upside if buyers can gain control here, at least in a short-term aspect. I mean, if we can break out of this, it's likely that we do reach that psychological $4 level as well as the top of that $5 level where we began this downtrend we see here before really forming that cup and handle pattern. So in a pivotal spot, guys, keep your eye on that, as well as a shift in overall momentum, regaining that $4 and $5 level. And ultimately, guys, try to regain this 200 moving average as we try to trend above that. If we do see a breakout of this overall range, we want volume to follow that. If you see volume start to dry up, good chance that we don't get that explosive movement that we have seen in the past, guys. We want volume to aid our movement and ultimately break above that $4 to $5 level right here, regain the support. If we have volume, guys, I think we are in the clear for possible retest and regain into that $4 support, as long as we can break out of this pennant cleanly or even just touch that support, regain a little bullish buying pressure, get out of that $3.60, hold above that nicely, and then trend back above that $4 level before trying to gain a nice base and get above that $5 level. You can just see a very explosive move to that $5 level, trying to regain these highs that it had at one point. Take you guys to the hourly chart. You see how close price is to that resistance as well as this overall setting support in this range that it's in. You want to see AMC break out of this range and get above that 360 level and hold strongly, guys, because AMC is prone to these explosive moves as well as these fake breakouts. You can see price kind of wick over a couple times, especially this right here, wick over. You can fake a lot of people out. People think it's breaking out of this overall structure that it's in. Getting tight, breakout. Nope, it was a fake. Come back down, get tighter. So keep an eye out for that when you're trading, guys. Don't get faked out by these. And that's why I'm telling you guys, you want to see a volume confirmation, right? Big movement here. You see volume ramp up when we get a spike there. Volume creeping in as we get this explosive movement. Now, guys, when we're at this overall structure where price has to make a decision, either break down, retest that support, or break out into a explosive movement, you want to see volume with it. You're seeing it dry up. You want to see explosive volume come in and aid that movement, guys. So keep an eye on that. We are almost as tight as we can get in this overall zone, so price has to make a decision soon. Make sure volume's aiding this movement overall. Judging from the daily chart and that red hammer candle, inverse hammer candle, it's likely that we see a move back down, touching this support level, playing around before we try to, get back up there and retest the overall two zones here. And guys, as a bull, you like to see that price is respecting this ascending support. Hits that ascending support, buyers buy in. So let's push it back down, get right back to it. Buyers buy in very nicely, move up, gap up to this move all the way to $4. And then now we are right back to that ascending support. Hit it again, get tight, small bounce back up. We're hitting it once again. So as a bull, you do like to see that confirmation of this ascending support, and the bulls buy in every time we hit that exact support. If you see volume ramp up here, guys, it is very likely that we break out of this into an explosive movement as the bulls touch this ascending support again, get very tight in this range, and explode all the way past that $3.60 level limit. And ultimately could be seeing a move up to that $4 limit. But guys, if volume is not there and we're drying up, definitely could see a flush and a retest of that $3.20 spot. And furthermore, all the way back down to that strong support around that $2.60 spot. Overall, guys, the hourly is kind of confirming what we see on the daily. And coming full circle, you just want to see it break out of this pennant with strong volume, as AMC is a very beat up stock overall, guys, and very prone to these big movements. So if you see volume, very good chance that we break out into an explosive movement, especially since we are still on an overall uptrend. Big correction, but overall uptrend. And we are at a pretty decent support marker here. So keep your eyes on that, guys. Trade with caution. Be patient on this one and look for that breakout with strong volume to occur. Watch that support level of $3.20 if that does not occur. If you found value from this at all, consider liking and subscribing, as I'll continue to cover AMC on the channel as well as other major tickers. Trade smart, and I'll see you guys in the next one.